once again. So we're already halfway done with the month of January. And this week, week number 3, we're talking about it's a new life. So if I were to ask you, describe your life, what would you describe? See, oftentimes we use this word life, and we are not really being as clear or as specific as we could be. How many people have said at some point while living in Idaho or somewhere, Pittsburgh, I'm going to move and I'm going to start a new life? What does that mean? I'm going to leave this job and live my life how I want to. Okay, what does that mean? What does it mean to start a new life, to have a new life, for your life is just beginning. You're 30 and your life is just beginning. What does that mean? Especially when we take into account this thing that Ernest Holmes said, there is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is living itself as you right now, Reverend Ray's remix. So this thing called life, it's all that there is, synonymous with God. So when we say it's a new life, we are living a new life. Are we saying we are living a new expression of the divine as it lives, moves, and has its beingness as us? And what does that look like? As an actual lived experience. If I say, do you know how to dance? I want you to dance a new dance. Don't we need to clarify, well, when you say dance, what do you mean? Because for some, dance is tap, jazz, modern. For Paul Taylor, many years ago, he did a controversial dance where the curtain opened. I don't remember the exact pose, but he stood motionless for like 20 minutes or so, 15, 20, 25 minutes. And the curtain closed. That was a dance, but he didn't move. So if he didn't move, because that's what it sparked was, is it dance if you don't move? Is it life if you're not, whoa, time out. So what does it mean to live this thing called life? To live it fully, to live it so powerfully that we drink from our saucer because our cup runneth over. One of the things that I shared in the notes that you get posted on social media and the website and the app, which if you don't currently subscribe to any of these things, here's your invitation to do so. But I shared this thing where Dr. Holmes said, life is for us today. Now, swap out life, because remember I said, synonymous with God. God is for us today. Well, even let's remix that. God is for itself as it is incarnating as us. So why would it not be for itself? Why would life not be for itself when it is all there is? God is for us because the us that we are is it. There will be no change for tomorrow unless we do the changing today. Changing what? What is it that we are invited to change? Because let's think about how life and living it to its fullest has been denied to certain individuals that we reference as the marginalized. What is this thing called life as it's living, moving, and having its beingness in them, as them, during the transatlantic slave trade, during the time where members of the LGBTQ community were seen as having a mental illness and needing a lobotomy, and we could go on. The indigenous peoples of Turtle Island had their land stolen, and the name revoked and called the United States of, or North America, which being the Northern United States. Yeah, you got me. How is this thing called life? And even more importantly, what about when Toni Morrison says all paradises, all utopias are designed by those people who are not allowed in? Not allowed in what? Not allowed in the boardrooms, not allowed in certain aspects of government, not allowed in positions of leadership. When the marginalized individuals, who are actually the global majority, are not allowed into spaces, then those spaces then model and mirror a certain status quo. And that certain status quo is not about you or I living our best lives. It's to prop itself up so that it can function as it was designed to. And for as long as that is operating in that manner, then we are not going to be permitted to live our best lives. Why did the suffragist movement birth? Why did gay liberation birth? Civil rights, birth. Animal rights, birth. The rights of Mother Earth, birth. Why? Why did any act up? Why did any of these movements come into being? Why? Because as Representative Ayanna Pressley says, as I have said in the past, those closest to the pain should be the ones closest to the power. When she says that, what is she, whoa. Say what now? Those closest to the pain, those closest to the trauma, those closest to whatever this is that is not operating in the highest and best. Those closest to that should be the ones change, because they're the ones who are able to dismantle and deconstruct the systems of harm and hurt. They should be, their voices, their bodies should be in the room. So if we're going to live this thing called life and live it fully and abundantly and powerfully, because we're already living it, the question is, are we living it as best as possible, individually and collectively? What are we invited to do? Now, you may know that within CSL, we have our Global Heart Vision. And for example, the very first statement in our Global Heart Vision is, we envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. We envision. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to envision a delicious meal. Whatever that is for you. For some, it may be pizza, like my sister, New York pizza. It may be, salmon. It may be a delicious vegan burger. It may be salad, like whatever it is. Imagine it. And I mean, imagine it, envision it so powerfully that your mouth starts to salivate. I mean, I need you to taste it and smell it, the seasonings, and add some dessert in there. Ooh, that's tasty. Ooh, that's good. Now, keep envisioning it. Envision it until you're hungry, and keep envisioning it. At what point does your envisioning it put it in front of you so that you can consume it and be nourished? Now, I don't have an issue or a problem with the concept of visioning and envisioning as long as it's part of the process. The choreographer envisions before they move. The suffragists envisioned before they move. Civil rights, Dr. King, Bayard Rustin, Malcolm X, etc., envisioned before they moved. Each of these individuals envisioned before they moved. So for us, we envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. Okay, now let's move, treat, and move your feet. So for me, one of the things that I've done over the last couple of years just to help me start to move is swap out envision and put in a verb. So for me, my remix of that, we envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. For me, we create communities where all people, all beings, and all life are treated, honored, and celebrated as expressions of God. See, for me, I can start to actually, so what is the strategy? What is the plan? What is the choreography? Is it step ball change? Is it pirouette? Is it jazz hands? Like, what is in the method of choreography, what follows what, so that when the curtains open, there's the dance. How do I create community? And community is relationship. So how do I open to a relationship where all people in relationship, all beings in relationship, and all expressions of life are treated, honored, and celebrated as expressions of the divine? So what is a new life? We come back to that. What does it mean to live, to experience a new life? Well, I have to be able to identify what is the old life that I don't want. There is something that I'm not Jim Crow. I'm not feeling that. Sexism, toxic patriarchy. I'm not feeling that. Homomisia, transmisia, Islamomisia. I'm not feeling that. No. Okay, so that's the old. What's the new? And how do I communicate that? First, for myself, formulate, what does this mean? What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? To the degree where if someone were to say, Reverend Amani says, or I ask Reverend Amani, because Reverend Amani been making sourdough bread, right? Okay, so she on sabbatical. So I say, I want to do this, sourdough bread thing too. And I know Amani is like the master of this. So I say, Reverend Amani, how do I make sourdough bread? And Amani says, you get some flour and some salt and some this and some that and some that. And that's it. That's where she stops. I don't know what to do with it though, right? So we need more than just the ingredients. We need to know how many cups of flour, what kind of flour. Do I sift it? Do I fold it? How many eggs? It just egg yolks or egg whites, or there's a whole structure and system to the recipe. So what is the recipe for your new life? How much joy, happiness, patience, perseverance, inspiration, laughter, orgasmic bliss? To what degree are these things, and how do you mix them? And do you fry them? Do you bake them? Do you let them marinate and simmer? What is the process by which you are now not just envisioning a new life for yourself individually and for the collective? Because we are not going to have world peace until we move from kumbaya, my Lord, it's all good. Mm-hmm. Kumbaya, my Lord, it's all good. Mm-hmm. We're not going to have world peace until we move past that. Treat and move our feet. So what is the consciousness that creates war? What is the consciousness that creates rape culture? What is the consciousness that creates that nurtures that? And now, because we understand it all originates in consciousness, then let us shift the consciousness individually and then begin to put into place within the systemic structures, all of them, this consciousness that has eliminated, eradicated, and erased whatever this is. But we need to be clear. We need to be crystal clear. And sometimes that crystal clarity is, right now, I don't know, but I'm willing to. Right now, I'm driving down the road and it's really foggy. And what I'm invited to do is pull over for a moment and pause. Pull into a rest stop and wait. Sometimes the clarity is, I can't see clearly now, the fog is here. I see so many raindrops are falling now. Then pull over and wait. Be present. Clarity isn't about, because that consciousness, the consciousness of colonization, would have us believe that we're supposed to be happy all the time and clear all the time. We know where we're going and we know how. No, 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 no. Stop. Sometimes clarity is knowing we don't know and stepping into the mystery anyway. When Amani gives me the recipe for the sourdough, ooh, it made me hungry. Gives me the recipe for the sourdough bread. I've never made it before, so I'm not clear on the practice of putting it together. I'm in the mystery of, and I'm experimenting, and the first 2, 3, 4,000 batches might not really be edible, but I'm going to persist because I am convicted and committed to having this. Oh, that's the taste. Yeah, put some jam on that. Oh, that's good. Are we committed in the same way to peace on earth, goodwill towards all? Are we committed to the same way of having the unhoused be housed, unless they choose not to? Are we committed to the same thing of getting health and well-being, healthcare, mental health for all people? Not just those who can afford it, not just those who work 5, 6 jobs to be. Are we willing to truly create a new life? There is only one life, and that life is God. And that life right now is not the life that all are experiencing right now. It's there, it's present. But those who are experiencing war and trauma and pain and grief and all manner of things, they don't feel that because of the systems that are in place. So how do we shift and change the entire mental equivalent of the collective consciousness so that a new life is what is experienced? A world that truly does work for all is what is experienced. What are we doing to ensure that our own lives are working for us? A world that works for all, I'm having a hard time keeping my lights on. Okay, so how do you come into relationship so that you can get what you need from whatever resources that are available? How do we come into connection in community in such a powerful way? When I was a public school teacher in Pittsburgh, the phrase "no child left behind" was birthed. And I've always since then, because the way the system worked, well, we say no child left behind, but we are leaving them behind by leaps and bounds because of the way the system is. We say it. It's lip service. We're not doing it. And since then, my mind has consistently been around this idea of no person, no animal, no tree, no shrub, no expression of God left behind, meaning left by the wayside, because as the story of the Good Samaritan teaches us, and I always remind folks, we are 21st century New Thought Good Samaritans. No one gets left by the wayside. The indigenous peoples, they don't get left. Trans women of color, they don't get left. Trans people don't get left. Women don't get left. Any of the marginalized, no. They do not get left behind. As a 21st century New Thought Good Samaritan, it is our role and responsibility to find a need, find those in need, find an area in need, heal it, shift it, evolve it, bring the true expansiveness of a new life, a divine life to all. Breathe. Namaste, blessings, much love and appreciation. I will see you soon. Y'all know Ray is silly, right? Just saying.